Alan Fisher, our chief U.S. correspondent in Washington there. Thank you very much for that, Alan. Let's discuss this further now with David DeRoche, who's a professor at Thayer Marshall Institute and a former Pentagon director of Arabian Peninsula Affairs. David is joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you for coming on, David. As Alan said, there no confirmation yet from CENTCOM, but quite concerning if this is confirmed. How unusual, first of all, is the downing of a U.S. fighter jet in combat?
Well, given the pace of combat and the duration, it's to be expected. It's something that you plan for, but of course it's traumatic. And given the fact that there's, Iran is the Iranian Republic was born in a hostage-taking incident. It has a potential to revive rather unpleasant memories for Americans in specific. But the F-15 is a 40-year-old platform. They've been flying 500, 800 missions for about a month now. So it would be surprising if we had not lost one or two planes by this point.
Right. You say it's an F-15. We don't have confirmation, I think, on the sort of aircraft is it. What's the significance, rather, if it's an F-15? Would that mean more than one crew member?
So what I've seen, and this could be staged or it could be debris from other accidents or training flights or even the 3 F-15s that were shot down by the Kuwaitis. But what I've seen is the indications that it is an F-15E, which is a two-person model from the 494th Fighter Squadron, which is based at RAF Lakenheath in England, but is operated extensively in the Middle East. So that's a modified version of the standard F-15 only has one crew member. I've also seen a photograph, and I don't know how authentic it is, but it shows an ejection seat without somebody in it. So that would indicate that there's at least one of the crew members has safely ejected and is evading capture. I've also seen social media from Iran that shows the kind of assets that would be normally associated with a downed crewman rescue in action. So I think right now, I think it's more likely than not that it was an F-15E, that it was brought down. It looks as though it was brought down due to enemy action, which was probably a portable air defense system, which,
right,
even though the overall air defense network is gone, they can still function. And it looks like there's at least one crew member and hopefully two that are still.
I was going to ask you precisely about that, David. The fact that, over a month now into this conflict, I mean, we've heard the U.S. say that they have air superiority. They claim air superiority in Iran. The fact that the Iranians are able to carry out such an act, what does that signal about their capabilities a month into this conflict?
Well, it signals that a lot of people don't know what air superiority means. The United States has air superiority over the continental United States, but if somebody has a man-portable air defense weapon and they get on the flight path from Los Angeles International Airport, they can bring down a jet. So when you talk about air superiority, what you mean is the ability to mass forces and conduct basically unopposed air operations in those areas that you've massed forces. But the country on the ground still has the ability to move small units, particularly man-portable units, in areas where they can put low-flying aircraft particularly at risk. So air superiority is a sort of general term, but it doesn't indicate that you have total freedom for carte blanche over the area there. An enemy can always mass small assets in areas that are vulnerable for low-flying aircraft and achieve an effect like this. And it's also quite possible this could be a mechanical failure, but I think that that's increasingly unlikely.
Yeah. As you say, we don't know what's happened, whether it's a mechanical failure or whether it was indeed shot down by the Iranians. There is going to be, no doubt, a propaganda battle that's going to occur now on both sides in the wake of something like this, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely, particularly if they manage to take a prisoner. Iran has a long history of taking hostages. The question is how these prisoners, if they are captured, will be treated. And that will be a major issue in the U.S. And quite frankly, that may the U.S. public is sort of somewhat indifferent to this war, But if Iran mishandles these prisoners, this may be a propaganda gift for Donald Trump. So I would urge a focus on by the book humanitarian treatment if these people are in fact done. That's some unwanted advice to the Iranian leadership.
David, as always, good to get your thoughts, your insight on this. David Darash joining us there from Washington, D.C.